Video. Today I have Alliance War number 7, I think it is. It might be number 8. I'll title it correctly, but I can't remember at the moment. And this is a really good war performance. We did end up winning this war. I had a really bad war. Last war I died 3 times. But this one I performed a lot better. So I am in here with a full Omega team, Omega Red, Red Guardian, and Sabretooth. Both of those champs were synergies. This first fight is a Morning Star. I played a bit slower and she just goes delete. Really nice to have. They only put 1 fight on this second path. That's actually pretty normal. I see that happen a lot. And then after that we have Havoc. Now I don't really have a Havoc counter, but my plan is to jump in here and just blow him up before it becomes a problem with feedback. So should work most well. But I'm going to jump in here and do a 5-hit combo parry into a heavy. I got to be careful looking out for those parry openings, those stun windows, because if I can get those degens on and get them to stick, I can just absolutely delete him. I block most of this special just out of security because I wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally get clipped. Sometimes I'm at a weird distance and I don't dex it properly, and I wasn't too worried. Another combo in and he's just dead. Gotta love the crazy amount of damage that Omega Red places on champions. Next up is a Power Snack Killmonger fight here. I'm gonna jump in with Omega Red. I did pop a 30% boost just to secure. My alliance is pretty close to Plat 3, and I have a good amount of boosts in Overflow, so I want to make sure that I really push and use those to try and secure a higher ranking. I do trigger the Indestructible here. I'm not too worried. I go in for a single medium hit just to punish the heavy, the special 2, and keep him aggressive. Backup recovery triggers here, so he gains a bunch of power. I drop my degen to get some more damage off, and I take these blocked hits because I placed a really big degen on him, and I didn't want him to just go indestructible and not take the damage from it. And that works out really well to my favor. Another parry, heavy special 2 combo, and he's dust. It's not a bad placement for Killmonger, but if the opponent has an Omega Red, which they're going to want to bring for Korg already, it's like kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You get one person's just going to boost up. So I don't necessarily think it's the best placement there, just because I'm 30% boosted and I'm going to jump into this Korg. So here, I'm just checking to see how close the war is, because if we're like blowing them out at this point, I don't want to use too many boosts and stuff if I don't need to, and maybe I can let someone else take the fight. I don't do this fight as well as this other guy in my alliance who also brings Omega Red. He does this fight and I don't think he's ever died to it. So, but I checked, it's pretty close. I am 30% boosted, so I'm going to just pop an invulnerability boost just in case. I trip up to the Mixmaster or something, which is going to prove to be actually really good, because I totally do. I do my standard parry start and wait it out, and you can see here I just completely forgot about Mixmaster. My brain just turned off, but that's okay. Invulnerability saved me, so I don't take too much punishment. And then I kind of switch my playstyle up to address. I go for a 4-hit combo here, which is a light, medium, and then I punch him with a light attack into his block so he doesn't evade. That allows me to get a parry off because it kind of resets the AI aggression. One of the weird things about Korg, sometimes he goes super passive. Punching him into the block can really help in those scenarios. Here I accidentally trigger the Indestructible with the degen off, so I do take the last hit of the special 2, and then he's dead. Omega Red just blows him up. A 6-star rank 3 is a little bit of overkill. I pinged my alliance mates, said, hey, I'm 30% boosted. If one of you guys can taxi me to the Hulkbuster, I can take him down. Both of my alliance mates responded really quick and were like, hey, I used all of my energy, but you are good to go. So I jumped into the Hulkbuster. I can see why this fight could be potentially frustrating if you need to bring a shock immune or something, but it's really nice. At this tier war, Omega Red, you get some spores on, especially with willpower that mitigates the shock a lot. Drop a couple degens and dead. Before the self-repair even triggered, like the self-repair kicked in and was beginning to trigger, dead before it even did anything. So that was really nice. Maybe that was a really low sig Hulkbuster. I didn't even check. This next fight, though, is a Blade, Path 2 as well, on the combat power gain rate. Blade and I, we don't get along. I don't like the things and interactions he does with the reduced stun timers, but at this tier of war, it's not that big of a deal. A little bit of slow comboing, a chain into a special 1 to stall and let the damage over time do its work. Blade goes down no problem. He's more frustrating when he's on a mini or something and he's like got a significant health boost. But that's okay. Blade went down. Again, more of an annoyance thing. It can be a potentially really good placement just in general for Blade because your opponent doesn't get a lot of special. But if you can delete him before you really have to worry about baiting specials, there's nothing wrong. He is a stubborn defender, so it's just all about killing him before baiting specials becomes a problem. This is a thing, so I go in for a 5-hit combo straight into a heavy. I don't want to give him too much here, but I also want to keep my degens on as much as possible. I've got him at 12 spores here, and I go for a 12 rock stacks, a super greedy single hit heavy to try to bring him to 15, and he L1'd me in the face. Well deserved, but it is a thing on a path to path. I could take a special one to the face all day and not worry. So I am going to, continue the fight like normal. I get a little bit of my health back from a heavy chain L1. Nothing serious. If you're going to place Sting on defense, and they placed a lot of things on defense, I think at one point, you're just better off placing diversity. Thing's a really frustrating defender, but these nodes are just so easy that it doesn't matter that Thing is a harder defender because you just blow him up so fast that it doesn't matter. But next up, I do have an Iron Man Infinity War. This is on buffet, so it is a quite healthy dose of healing. I think it might just be misunderstanding. Iron Man Infinity War's armor up buffs aren't technically armor up buffs, they're armor up passives, so it doesn't interact with the node. So I'm just going to jump in with Omega Red and just absolutely wreck him down. Baiting out the heavies when I need to, using a heavy counter to punish and keep the degens on. For the most part, I'm just going to let my degen do most of the work. I dexed that special one because it's unblockable, but the goal here is to burn him down more than the buffet. So dexing too many special ones could put me in a bad spot. You can see here I'm force holding block. That's so he heavies and I can counter heavy. I'm far enough against the wall that the L1 isn't going to hit me, so I can just naturally physically distance myself. I don't trigger buffet. I was going to block both the laser blasts so I don't have to worry about the healing. That's probably the worst part of the Iron Man Infinity War, is the healing and that potential. This next fight is Mr. Sinister. Now, they stuck Mr. Sinister here because of the 150% recovery. It can be quite a bit of recovery. Probably not the best placement for Mr. Sinister. I think a lot of people fixate on the recovery factor of this node, and what they should fixate on is the Vigorous Assault. The Vigorous Assault is what you want to catch people with by having a defender on here is like permanently regenerating, so they're permanently unblockable. The healing factor is really not something that is frustrating or difficult to deal with. You're going to see here though that I'm going to go for a 5-hit combo because I wanted him to throw his L1. He does, and then I'm going to redrop my L1 and force block so he doesn't throw his L1 again. This time I'm going to go for a 5-hit combo and force block again, reproc my degen. He's at an L2. I'm not too concerned about an L2, but here I'm just stalling, letting the degens do the work. Here I go in for a little hit. See if I can't keep the AI really aggressive. Works out super perfect. Drop my L3. This is going to power drain a bit as well as get some extra damage on. This fight really, really went in my favor. At any point, he could have L1'd me back with a degen. He could have L2'd and dropped a concussion. I would have taken a pretty good chunk of damage, but instead he ate up and just played the fight exactly how I wanted. So that was really, really nice. It could have been a lot closer. So I'm going to move into this hazard shift thing. I kind of evaluated my alliance's rosters. We had a lot of people who could maybe take that window of opportunity thing to the right, but not a lot of people who could handle this thing in the middle. So I jump in to go ahead and go for it. I'm going to heavy counter him to lock my spores in, although not a lot because he heavied right out the gate. So kind of put me in a bad spot, but I'm going to heavy counter again. I've only got 5 spores on and 1 incinerate, so pretty good luck. I get a cheeky intercept in there, and now I'm just trying to hit him to a point where I can scale up and not have to worry about his specials. I do take that last hit of the L1 on purpose so that I can actually get damage through the fight, and now I need to deep dex and bait a block so I can push him to an L1. Works out. Finally get it to manage. I tried to heavy counter the L1 like an idiot. I don't know why I just acted like it was a heavy, like that, where you heavy counter the heavy. So I took the L1 to the face. That was awkward. This one, I was too slow to dash in and punish. So fight's not working out great for me, but we do have him at 50%. We are in the incinerate phase. So here, I'm going to try to block part of the heavy so I can drop off the indestructible. He goes into the poison phase, so I go super aggressive here and push as much onto him as I can. I'm trying to keep proximity for that degen damage. I'm lucky I didn't trigger indestructibility there, and a really solid placement on the heavy counter worked to my advantage. I went for an L1 to try to end the fight, but I accidentally triggered indestructibility. That put me in a bad spot as well. He's only at 4%. He's ticking down. He's almost dead, so I'm going to go in for a full combo L1. Now, I know this is going to put him to indestructible, but it's also going to put him to 10 spores, and the spore damage will take him out. A greedy way to play the fight, but it was almost over anyways, and I would have played it slower if he wasn't almost dead. Pretty good war. Really need this. These last couple wars have been super bad for me, so this one felt really good. We did end up winning this war by quite a large margin, so here's hoping if my alliance plays our cards right that we can push into Plat 3. It would feel great to push there. That said, as always though, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.